guys, so a lot of you have been asking about my thoughts on Batman v Superman. I know I'm late getting this video up, but like I said, a lot of you have been asking, so I'm going to tell you how I feel about it. So, I asked all of you to send me your questions or your personal thoughts of what you wanted me to kind of cover during the video and kind of regarding the movie. Didn't get a lot, because it was very last minute, or y'all just didn't give a shit. But I have a few questions and I will interject them in between the video as we go. So, shall we get started? I have all the notes on my phone. Then we'll kind of go down the list. Obviously it's going to contain spoilers. If you haven't seen this movie at this point, what the fuck are you doing with your life? But it's going to be spoilish. It's not going to be a full, complete review. It's going to be more of an overall discussion, how I felt, while going over some key points. Alright? Are you guys ready? Let us begin. So, the overall story. Well, I love the movie. Overall, I did. The first time I was kind of like, okay, it's alright. But the more and more I watched it, the more and more I end up loving it. But it's not to say the movie doesn't have its faults, because it definitely does. Definitely does. But not enough to deter me away from my initial thought or feel about the film. As many of you, I'm sure, have seen by other reviewers, it is choppy, it does have pacing issues, and it's very quick editing. Very quick editing. It literally jumps around from scene to scene without any kind of type of like exposition or explanation, and you're just kind of there. I was like, what? How did we get there? But characters were kind of shoehorned just for the sake of it, because you need to set up the universe. I understand that the film was playing catch up with Marvel, so they had to get everything they could into one plate, which is fine, but things could have been executed different and a lot better than the way they were. A lot of setup for the film, like we said, a lot of characters for the Justice League. I didn't have too much of a problem with that. It's expected, obviously. The main point of the story, the Batman v Superman, got lost in it all. I felt like with Batman, we got all of his motivations. We got why he was pissed, why he was mad, why he was on this personal vendetta, and yada yada yada. With Superman, you really didn't get that. That kind of got lost. It got touched on briefly. With the different, ideals and methods between him and Batman, and him not liking how Batman takes law into his own hands. They touched on that a bit. That was good, but they just didn't kind of follow it through. You really didn't get Superman's narrative throughout the story or his motivation. It's briefly touched. So, choppy editing, character motivations were, a bit of an issue for the film. There's just a lot of plot holes. Like, how the hell did Lex know who they were, far as secret identities, as far as Batman and Superman, and how things just coincidentally just happened. How you knew who the identities were, and how the initial fight between Batman and Superman just so happened to happen the same night. Like, Lex wanted to create this whole grand scheme and plan, and why it even mattered, and why he even gave a shit about Batman to begin with. Just a lot of character motivations were just off, and especially Lex. He was the most one where his shit was just like, what? Left field. A little bit. To where, with Lex, I understand his reasoning were about power and the abuse of it, and God, and when with power is not good, and when it's good cannot be truly powerful. That stuff I get. But it was really just, again, shoehorned in there just to cause a plot. So just like I said, it was just a lot of plot points and missing things there. Which is fine, but not enough to deter me away from the actual film. The performances, I would say. So I'm going to start off with Wonder Woman. I felt like she was really good. She was there, she served her purpose, nothing really huge or big. she was used to just introduce the Justice League and to set up her own future movie, which is fine. Gal Gadot's performance I felt was good. Y'all know I had my doubts about her when she was initially announced. She ended up being really good to me, and she was definitely a standout when she came on screen. The way she was in character was introduced was pretty fucking badass. The way she was fighting, and everyone keeps talking about when she got knocked down and smiled, that was pretty hot, that was pretty badass. I was like, oh shit, that's Wonder Woman. So I was generally satisfied. Superman is Superman. I'm not gonna have much to say about him. Pretty much the same from Man of Steel. So there you go. Lex Luthor. At first I was kind of over it. I was like, yeah, he's doing a lot. But a lot of people are complaining because it's not the Lex that we know. It's not the Lex that we're used to. That's not Lex Luthor. You're right. It's not Lex Luthor. It's Lex Luthor's kid. And they explain that, again, very, very brief. Like, if you even tuned out for a second, you missed the shit. So, given that it helped me digest the character a lot better and his overall personality and quirkiness, now he's like, oh my god, and then all serious and menacing. So I was like, okay, fine, whatever. I felt like he was pretty, it was different, you know, definitely different. And like I said, I felt like Jesse portrayed it the best that he could in what he was given. The whole thing with him communicating with Darkseid and how he was so knowledgeable about everything, well, I mean, I guess was cool and was to make a good story point and arch. But other than that, his overall message about power was cool, and his performance was overall, I didn't mind it. It was whatever. The Justice League. It was really lazy and not what I was expecting. With Bruce Wayne and Diana exchanging email conversations, and that's when you expose top secret things, and it was interesting. The Aquaman one, I was looking forward to the most, but it was funny because it looked like he was holding his breath the whole time. The Cyborg one was cool, had a bit of a horror story element to it. The Flash was dope. That one I really liked. The convenience store footage was really cool. So I felt like the Justice League was cool. It was good, and the setup at the end and having Batman being the one to kind of form them, I loved. Of course I love that. So, the Flash, aka Nightmare Scene. Yes, I did leave out one particular performance out of that because I'm saving the best for last. So, the Flash and Nightmare Scene. I loved that damn scene, and it was completely and utterly badass. The way Batman was just beating the shit out of everybody, and the parademons and the Superman soldiers, and then the whole Injustice storyline. I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I know a lot of people complaining because it was random, it didn't fit in, he was killing people, where'd the Flash come from? The whole dream sequence, everything was brought upon by the Flash. That's why he popped up at the end and gave him the whole warning. It wasn't something that coincidentally just paralleled with Batman's visions. Batman is not a future teller. He can't have such an elaborate dream out of nowhere that was brought to you by the Flash. A lot of people are confused about that, and I don't know why. But the overall scene was awesome. The Desert Batman costume was fucking badass. He was huge. He was just snapping necks and cashing checks. He was doing everything. I loved that scene. Now to the actual fight between Batman and Superman. I loved it. I was very, very disappointed that they didn't use the famous line. Y'all know what it is. Other than that, it was visually stunning, beautiful, fucking gritty, dirty, brutal, amazing in IMAX. Batman beat the everlasting brakes off of Superman's ass, and I loved it. Take that, Tyrone, and it wasn't Bizarro, it was Superman. So, and everyone keeps saying, oh, he's trying to hold back. There was pure rage in Superman's face when that fight was going on, and he failed horribly. It's not holding back. Only at the begining. He was like, Bruce, we have to talk or whatever. That was it. Everything else was pure game. I didn't like the overall fight and how it was brought about. That's what I didn't like, because I was going to be under the impression that it was because of their own, ideological differences that caused them to fight each other. Not, hi, I'm Lex Luthor, I got your mom, go kill him, have him, go kill him, bring him back, and then I'll save your mom. I was like, what? No, I thought it was going to be both of them, like, finally clashing because you take the law into your own hands. You don't do what's necessary. La da 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 da. Fight. No, I felt like that was a complete. It was stupid. That doesn't feel like that. It was stupid. Let's talk about the big one. The Martha scene. I personally loved it. A lot of people hated it because, in all honesty, they truly don't understand it. I thought it fit perfectly. It felt perfect with the character. It felt perfect with Batman. And the reason why it came to that conclusion is because, look, Batman already lost his mother in the hands, and he already feels guilty. He feels like there was nothing he could do. He completely blames himself. He felt like it was completely in his hands to save his parents, and he couldn't. So when Superman used that Martha, it snapped that because it went back to the childhood. That's why they did the flashbacks, and they realized because Batman failed that originally. So to him it was a lot personal because that had a connection with him. And that's why he said Martha won't die tonight, because he'd already let his Martha do it, and he's not going to do that to somebody else because he knows what that's like. And it's a lot more personal. When you have that connection in that throughway, it's kind of, it makes complete sense. It's not just shoehorned in. I felt like that was a good way to tie that in, especially at that moment. And a lot of people had problems with that because it didn't feel like it was just oddly stupid. It didn't make sense. It didn't fit. Well, it does when you connect the dots, and it makes total sense, and I'm glad that they did it. Ben Affleck. You devil, you. My friend, you were fucking perfect! I loved Ben Affleck as Batman. He was fucking phenomenal. I loved every second and minute he was on screen. I loved everything. He perfectly captured that character's motivations, his pain, his past, his anger, his everything in both Bruce Wayne and Batman. He was amazing. And we first initially see Batman in this film, it was like a horror movie. And I loved it because that's how Batman should be. How that man in that sex slave place, or whatever the hell you want to call it, when the cops are coming, and he was hiding in the walls in the darkness, and all you see is cape and shadow. When you tried to shoot him, literally all you saw was the tail end of the cape flying around. I went nuts because that's how Batman is. That's how Batman moves, and I loved it. The attitude, the way he fights, the fighting was so fluent and beautiful. He was beating the ever-living hell out of people with no mercy, and I loved it. And I'm gonna get into this because everyone has been bitching and moaning and crying and whining because Batman kills people. One, get the hell over yourself. Two, Batman has killed in film and comics. He started off killing in comics. The motherfucker had dual guns. Batman kills. Get over it. Wipe your tears. Man up. And woman up. It's not that serious. It literally bugs me when people are like, oh my god, he's killed. They destroyed the essence of the character. That's not my Batman. That's not this, the yada yada. There are better things to do with your life than to worry about that, because that is completely inaccurate. And if you're a true fan of Batman as what you say that you are, you know he's killed. Christian Bale, killed in The Dark Knight. We don't talk about that because it's, oh, he allures of the fact that he might have killed people. Spearing somebody off of a building is pretty clear that you killed somebody. Running the Batmobile under a truck and having the front of that truck get lodged up into a tunnel and dragged to where the front vehicle car where the person is sitting is completely smashed and flattened is a clear, I'd say it's a pretty clear, image of death. So, stop complaining. It was awesome. I'm going to go to Twitter questions. Well, Twitter questions. Like I said, it wasn't a lot, but it was a few. Danny! Mr. Unchained. Team Iron Man. Damn right. Do you think it should have deleted that Jonathan and Clark Kent scene? I thought it was very pointless, and I thought it was too. This was a movie of flashbacks and dreams, apparently, and that one was needed to be had. I thought it was very pointless. I got the messages going for it, but I just didn't need it. I was better without it. Did you like Batflick? Did you like Wonder Woman? I covered those, yes. What was your favorite scene in the whole movie? The warehouse scene where Batman went in and just took ownership of everybody and their mother. Literally. I need some water. I'm thirsty. I loved it. He was, oh my god, that sheer just brutality. And when they was trying to stab him and the knife would go across the cowl and people shoot him in the head, he just bounced off. Loved it. Did you like the movie at all? I loved it. So thank you, Danny, and the YouTube channel for sending me those questions. So, the end fight with Doomsday, I thought it was pretty cool. That was really cool. I loved seeing the Trinity work together and playing to their own strengths. That was awesome. The death of Superman I did not see coming, even though I should have. I completely commend DC for going that route. I'm just very mad and disappointed that they didn't follow through. You should have not have shown the dirt flying up. You should have killed him and kept him dead until Justice League. Then find a way to bring it back. Don't tease. You killed him. That was ballsy. You just fucked it all up. So that was really good. So yeah, guys, that was my overall thought of Batman v Superman. I loved it, from the story to the characters to the action to Batman to Ben Affleck and Batman and to Batman and to Ben Affleck. I loved all of it. So I hope that pretty much sums up for you guys. I hope you guys are satisfied with that answer and what I'm saying. And of course, if you have any more questions, hit me up on Twitter. We can talk about it more in depth. But I feel like I've covered all that I wanted to cover in the basis of what I liked and what I didn't like. So guys, join me in the road to set 20,000. Thank you for watching this video. And I hope you're satisfied. You're not brave. Men are brave. Fucking love that, man. His voice was so fucking awesome. The world only makes sense if you force it to. That was awesome. Good job, Ben. Good job.